Possibly, perhaps that was disobeyed. Now, the Edo State governor had weighed in and shut down the mine and says all parties must respect the outcome of the court decision, and that is yet to be decided. And that limestone mine facility remain under lock and key. So let's get to the marketplace and look at the markets on Broad Street yesterday. And we're starting with equities, where the sale of 550 million ordinary shares off the floor of Dangote Cement rallied the market in terms of turnover. But Dangote Cement shares also, however, fell more than 4% in the first trading day of the week leading to Christmas. And you can see the numbers. We lost 39,000 on the index. Yesterday we lost 38,000. And no thanks to Dangote Cement and other industrial bellwethers in the consumer and industrial space. The market fell 1.24%. That's the composite index. The market cap also lost about 20 billion. And that takes us to the doorstep of 13.50 trillion naira. Flip that away, folks. Let's see the basic trading data for the day. In terms of volume, Dangote brought about 96% of the total turnover for the day. That's 752. If you discount Dangote Cement's off the floor 550 million ordinary shares, the entire market traded just about 200 million shares yesterday, and that's on track from what we saw from late last week when Santa Claus left Customs Street, packed his goods, left the marketplace. Now, investors are clawing back some profit, and they are taking the long holiday. So the stock market is on the decline, but we're still a very decent north of 40% since 2017 started. This is one of the best markets in Africa this year, despite the current slowdown. In Naira volume, you can see that figure, 127.93 billion, was essentially what Dangote Cement shares brought to the table yesterday. That will give that fillip. If you discount that, the rest of that turnover value was just about 10.5 million US dollars. In terms of deals, there's just less than 3,000, about 3,600. But these are the 5 most active sectors, as always, for you. Look at the banking. That's about 0.35%, largely because of a few banking stocks. There's a very strong buying on Monday for the big banks like GT, Zenith, and UBA, as well as Access. Consumer goods went down when we saw Cadbury and its likes lost some shirt, 0.75%. The industrial goods had a heavy hitting, 2%. When Dangote Cement sneezes, the rest of us catch cold. Then you have the insurance, a little bit of a distance in the red against their cousins, the banks, 0.47% in the red. The oil and gas was unchanged. The market seems a little bit upset with the petrol scarcity that resurfaced yesterday in Lagos and a few places around the country. So investors decided to keep almost all the companies listed in that space unchanged, with the exception of one of them. And we'll get to that in a short while from now. Maybe we should just take a quick look at that, shall we? Okay, if we have the oil and gas, can we just pull that up very quickly? I'm interested in that number. The big boys, the big 7, were unchanged. Thank you, folks. And you can see them there. They were all sleeping as the market. But in terms of the right-hand column, you can see that there were some trading transactions there by the volume of those shares, 45,000 on corner at 41.52, 36,000 on double one, MRS 8,353, and the heaviest on Rwanda, 1.835 million. Let's just leave that, leave the Rwanda story there. Is already in the news. We don't need to overflog that, shall we? Not necessarily. Seplat, oil and gas company, just 5 transactions, 5 shares. Total 6,333. Eternal Oil. Now that's where the only stock in that space that moved to the south yesterday by 5% to 399 on 2.5 million ordinary shares. Global Spec 3,604 and almost 700,000 units on Japol Maritime. Oil and Gas Maritime Services Limited. Okay, let's get back to the securities market. So the stock market down 1.24%. That's the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Then you have the NES, the over-the-counter. Look at that. That's more massive, a lot more bloodshedding. The OTC market, 3.22%. We lost the 600 psychological level, USI there on Monday, and the market cap down massively, 403.42 billion at the market close. Let's try and squeeze in the fixed income folks, shall we? Let's just put this aside. I think we can do without this one. Let's talk about the fixed income, where a lot of trading activities are piling up into the new year as we see a new debt strategy from the Buhari's administration. This is the secondary window via the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange, 17.70 billion, four most actively traded Naira bonds on the screen for you at this point. Roll that over and show us the treasury bills, and that tells you where we are, nearly 150 billion Naira in terms of treasury bills traded, and you can see where we're talking about the yields coming through. The second column there for those treasuries maturing in 2018. Today is the 19th. When by Thursday, the DMO will redeem the second part of that massive non-rollover treasury bills for the marketplace. Okay, we're done with that. Let's bring in currencies a little bit. The Naira was flat at 365 on the dollar. On the streets, you call it the parallel market on Monday. The local unit today, lackluster 0.01 against the greenback at 360.94 at the INE window. That's what they call the importers, investors, and exporters window. And the total FX traded on that window for Monday was 109.67 million US dollars. And the range of trade, if you check the FMDQ platform, was between 320 and 363. And that's where today's conversation will be on the currency conversation, the power play in the currencies market for this year and the outlook for 2018. We'll talk about that later on the program. We need to take a break, and we'll be right back.